Hey, it's Lester 2582 coming back at you with another video, and today I'll be reviewing a model car. Now obviously I always review diecast cars and not really models. Main reason is because the wheels don't really roll. I think that's a universal thing. And I guess you could count some of these as models, but they're diecast models, but this one is actually a resin cast model, which is definitely something very new, but something I really got to be careful with, because not only did I pay a premium for this model, but it's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful piece we have here. And it's probably going to be a first look for most of y'all who have never seen this. This is from True Scale Miniatures. This is an officially licensed Coca-Cola 1/43 scale model replica of Bob Akin's Porsche 962 that raced and won the 12 Hours of Sebring in 1986. So, yeah, I just recently fell in love with the Porsche 962, specifically the Coca-Cola car, or the Coke car, that was owned and driven by Bob Akin and a bunch of other drivers too, which we'll take a look at. But before we take a look at the actual model, let's take a look at the little box that comes with it. Officially licensed Coca-Cola model here, ages 14 plus, and this is not a toy, because it's absolutely, you can talk about other stuff being a toy. This absolutely is not a toy. And let's take a look at the side. We got Coca-Cola on the sides, True Scale Miniatures logo, as well as on the top. And then you got the side, Porsche 962 short tail, 1986 Sebring 12 Hours winner, number 5, Bob Akin, Coca-Cola. And here's the bottom, and this is actually Kyosho logo, so this is probably from Japan and such. And yeah, officially licensed Coke product. And yeah, this is not a toy, because it's absolutely anything but. So let's take out the little cardboard thing. Now, I have taken a look at this car beforehand, so just so I could see how it was, and unfortunately I had a little bit of a disaster, but thankfully it's nothing super serious, and honestly probably helped the model. So take a look at the cardboard thing, and as you can tell, it comes on the wooden base, and of course it's acrylic case. And my goodness, is this absolutely stunning here. This is an absolutely stunning model we got on our hands here. And this one is screwed on by a screw, which I will be unscrewing just to give you a little short, like a little up close up of it. But I will be wearing my very nice gloves for this. So yeah, let's remove the little thing. There's nothing attached to it, of course, it's just there. And there is the model in the open air. So let's take a look at it like this. Well, I don't think I really need my gloves. Maybe once I unscrew it and show y'all on the turntable, which I will be using my turntable for this. Yeah, that's the only way. But yeah, we got written on the plaque, well, not plaque, but the little wooden stand, 1986 Porsche 962 short tail, number 5, Sebring 12 Hours winner. So this one won in the IMSA GTP, even though for some reason it says IMSA GT, but it was in the GTP class. Won overall in the 1986 12 Hours of Sebring. And of course it was driven by Bob Akin, but also driven by some other drivers there, which unfortunately are only their last names, which I unfortunately don't know. I apologize there. But yeah, we got ourselves an absolutely spectacular and very detailed model, with a bunch of little details that just can or cannot be replicated on any other die cast, even though, like I said, this is a resin cast model, so it is definitely lighter, but because it's made out of resin, you could do a lot more details than a regular die cast model would. So just giving it a little 360 of it, just in case you've never seen this before. Man, this is a beautiful model here. Now, of course, I will be using my special gloves just to kind of unscrew it and put it on the base, but of course I will be doing it off camera, so let me cut in order to screw this model out of its base. Now, of course, it's always kind of a little scary to take these models. Well, I don't know about this or other models, but it's pretty scary to take one of these out of its base, because like I said, it's super light. Like this, it's not light as a feather. It still has some decent weight to it, but it's not metal. None of this is metal, so yeah, that's why you really got to be careful with it. Make sure you absolutely do not drop it because it'll probably break. And you just, unfortunately, it's kind of stuck to my glove. I don't know what it's stuck to. There we go. At least we're not breaking anything so far. Now, this car originally is supposed to have an antenna near where the top is, but unfortunately, once I actually got the acrylic thing off, it just flew off for some reason. I don't know where it went. But honestly, I was looking at photos of the real car, and it doesn't really look like there's an antenna anywhere, so I guess I made it more accurate, but whatever. I still felt kind of sad, though. But yeah, this is an absolutely stunning model. We're going to put this right now on the turntable here before I even break anything, of course. Yeah, just it's amazing to appreciate this model here because I don't know if I've ever seen anyone review this on YouTube. I might be the first one, but I'm not exactly sure. Take that with a grain of salt. I'm not the only one probably, but yeah, this is a beautiful car. The Porsche 962 is I'll just say it, one of my favorite prototype cars of all time. It just looks so nice. It's so definitive of the era. Probably wasn't the absolute best on the racetrack, but it definitely did look the best. It's definitely iconic. Whenever I think GTP, you might think of the new cars or whatever. I think of the Porsche 962. I don't know what to tell you, but specifically this Coca-Cola version. There's a bunch of other liveries like the Winds colors. I love the purple on that one. The Miller car is super iconic too. But this Coca-Cola one is definitely very cool. Very cool story behind it. Yeah, just and like I said, it's cool that at least it won a race. Like this is the one that won the 12 Hours of Sebring back in 1986. So yeah, this is an amazing car. I really wish other diecast manufacturers they would actually make diecast out of this, but unfortunately, it's only the model companies that do this car, because there's some other variations of this car, but this is the specific one that won at Sebring, which has some little differences. So let's take a closer look at it here. Take a look at the closer, finer details on this absolutely amazing model we have. So of course we got a lot of sponsors on the front. We got, of course, the big one, Enjoy Coke. Now of course it would change. It would either say Coke or Coca-Cola. This 1986, I think this was around the time when New Coke was released, even though they actually never I don't think I've ever seen a Porsche 962 with the New Coke branding. So it did say Enjoy Coke, but it never said new. That's what it was called, just New Coke, when they replaced the formula of the original Coca-Cola. Literally, they're 99, or maybe it was 1985. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I got confused there. But yeah, we got the Enjoy Coke. Number 5, Yokohama on both sides of the lights. Same with Hella. We have Kendall Oil on one side. And it's a lot of glare, so I do apologize for that. We got Paraldine, Valentine Research. And we got Yokohama, which is the official tire supplier for this team. And of course, it is rocking on Yokohama tires with red tire letters, interestingly enough, so you could barely even see that. The beautiful BBS rims, which of course is one of the sponsors there with Bosch. Beautiful BBS rims. I do apologize for the lighting. It is throwing a lot of glare on this. Not only the rims, but also the white color on it. So we got the signature Coca-Cola swoosh on the side. We got Camel GT, which of course it's cool to have a tobacco sponsor on here. IMSA GT. I still don't understand why they didn't put the GTP sticker on there. Maybe there's some sort of decal error, but who knows. And we got the number 5 on the side. Valentine Research. And we got the 3 names on there. The first one I recognize is Bob Aiken, but then there's Stuck and Gardner. We got a Popeyes famous fried chicken and biscuits logo, which is very interesting because not only was this a Coke sponsor, but we also have Popeyes and Domino's. So of course that was another thing that was iconic for this car, is that we had Coke and Domino's. But it's very strange to see Popeyes on here. Now we have pizza, fried chicken, and Coke. I mean, what else can you ask for here? We got Yokohama on the side, Porsche, Enjoy Coke. We got Andiol, which is actually, I think, a brand of shoes, if I remember, or something like that. It's something related to Porsche, because I looked them up recently, and they actually still exist. And we got two Domino's Pizza logos on there with fast, friendly, free delivery. And let's take a look at the rear here. Whoa, we gotta be careful here. Got tail lights. Got the exhaust pipe on there. We got the little support for the wings there. And then the right side is the same as the left side. So yeah, just very nice. And there's a bunch of finer details on here, like the rear view mirrors. We got in the interior. Unfortunately, we can't open it or anything. But we do have an interior with a driver's seat painted and just extremely detailed here. Painted. This says, I think those are the seat belts. If I can't really tell, but I think there might be printed seat belts on there, and some other little things in there. Got the separate piece windshield wiper. Yeah, this is an amazing thing. And let's take a look at the base here. Yeah, you gotta be careful here. You don't want to drop it. And on the bottom it says Spark. So this is technically a Spark model, even though it doesn't say anything anywhere on the box. It is made by Spark. And it is a little wood here because I think this is actually wooden, or maybe because of the base is wooden. That's why you kind of see the little wooden thing for where you screw it on. And yeah, so it doesn't look perfect. There's some cracks in here, but of course it's resin cast, not die cast, so that's the reason why. Now, I actually thought that models don't roll. This one does. This one actually does. The rear wheels roll, not the best, but they do roll. And the front wheels, they're a little stiff, but like I said, you gotta be careful with it. But yeah, it does roll. It does roll, but you know, it's not like something I'd want to play with. I'm just gonna have it here on display along with my other beautiful cars that I have here. So yeah, this might be one of the last times I'm gonna take it out of its base, because then it's gonna stay here forever. You're gonna see it in my display with my other models, which is of course the Panos Esperante GTR1 that I have. Amazing car, also 1/43rd scale, which is pretty cool. But that one's actually die cast, so it's pretty heavy, as opposed to this one, pretty light. Yeah, this is a beautiful car. Love the story behind this car. Love how it looks. The sponsor, very iconic. It's pretty cool that we have a big sponsor in like 80s, the Wild West of IMSA, or sports car racing. And yeah, we got a bunch of random sponsors. We got Domino's and Popeyes on here too. It's just something I can't really get over. That's a little interesting. But yeah, this is an awesome car. If you'll be able to get this car, I would highly recommend it. But like I said, you really got to be careful with this. You don't want to break anything, because like I said, it's super fragile. Well, it feels super fragile, but just because of that, it looks very nice. So you kind of don't want to play with it. Of course, it's a model. You don't want to play with it. But that has been the very cool review of the True Scale Miniatures 1/43rd scale Porsche 962 from the 1986 12 Hours of Sebring, your winner. So this is a really nice one. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, subscribe. We're trying to reach those 1,000 subscribers. We're getting so close, y'all. We definitely could make it this year, at the very least. Come on, we could do it. And I'll see you next time. Peace.